Hello and welcome to Native Yoga Center. And my name is Todd McLaughlin, and today I want to point out some tips and tricks on how to practice Supta Padangusthasana, reclining big toe posture. So Supta Padangusthasana is where we lie down on our back and we grab a hold of our big right toe and extend the leg. The first one is to raise the head toward the leg and the leg toward the head. The second one is to open the leg out to the side and hold for 5. And then there's a final exhale lift and a release. And then, of course, we would practice on both sides, holding for 5, aiming the head toward the leg, opening the leg out over to the side, and bringing the head for a final exhale and a release. So, looks pretty simple, right? Not too bad. Well, one of the big things basically is being able to have enough flexibility to touch the toes. So in Supta Padangusthasana, Supta referencing supine or sleeping or reclining, and Padan is foot, Pada, and Angushta is the big toe. So reclining big toe pose. And so a classic way for beginners to learn Supta Padangusthasana is to take a prop such as a strap. And part of the key in the beginning is being able to attach our hand to our foot via the strap and working on the ability to straighten the leg. So this is a really good pose for hamstring stretching. This is a great pose for those of us that, it's a great beginner's yoga pose because you're supine, you're on the back. It doesn't require any balance. You're able to access your hamstring flexibility, and you can control the intensity of the stretch via how far you pull the leg towards you. So in some like classic Ashtanga places, no props are allowed. I allow props. I think they're great. I think they help. So with that being said, we can take a prop and hold on to it. And basically what we want to do is figure out how long does the strap need to be for us to be able to straighten our leg. So if you have more hamstring flexibility, you can grab closer to the toe. If you have less hamstring flexibility, grab further away from the toe. And so the first thing is to be able to get the leg really straight and practice the art of engaging your quadricep muscle. So your quad is the muscle on the front of your thigh, made up of 4 main parts: the rectus femoris, vastus intermedius, vastus lateralis, and vastus medialis. So what we can do here is just engage those 4 quadricep muscles and straighten the leg. And when you can get your leg straight and you figured out how far the strap needs to go to be able to get your leg straight, from here we can begin to draw the leg toward us. Now, what's really good about this pose and what it does great is strengthen the abdominal muscles and just the simple act of lifting the head off the floor. So interestingly enough, a really good back pain posture is to just work on lifting the head a little bit up off the floor, as it will strengthen the muscles on the core, the front of the body, and won't be doing a whole lot of back movement. So if you do have back pain, one thing we can do is practice just lifting the head and raising one leg in the air, keeping your head up and raising the other leg in the air. And this is a good way to strengthen the abdominal muscles. So without doing excessive like sit-ups where we might end up grinding or shearing some of the tissue around the spine. So, but if you have a really healthy spine, no issues, go ahead and use a prop, or what we attempt to do at some point or another is to grab hold of the toe. Now, there's no problem with grabbing the toe and having the knee bend. Notice you can grab the toe from the outside edge of your knee, or you can grab the toe from the inside edge of the knee. It is a little easier to grab the toe from the inside edge of the knee because you let your leg fall open, and it actually creates the chance to be able to grab it because of the hip can externally rotate. So either way, if you can grab from the outside edge, usually that keeps your leg tracking in this straight line above. And we can start off here where we hold and we have a bent knee and you lift your head off the floor. And this is a really great way to work your hamstring stretch and strengthen the muscles on the front of the body. There's this other strategy as well where we keep this left hand and try to put it on top of the leg, because if we put it on the floor, we're going to try to push ourselves up with our arm. So we try to avoid using the arm instead of our abs and actually strengthen our abs. So the main idea here is to be able to extend the knee joint and stretch the hip. Now on the next one here, we start to open, and that can be challenging, believe it or not. Well, I mean, maybe you believe it because you know it's challenging, because when you try to do it, it seems a little bit like either you're going to overstretch on the inside thigh. So what you can do is you can bend your knee and open your leg over to the side. So another way to practice the Supta Padangusthasana second part is to just hold the knee, to bend the knee, to hold the knee, to open the leg to the side. You can draw the knee up towards your shoulder. This works quite well. And or if you're able to grab your toe, if you go from trying to extend to bend to open to extend, this is a way you can break it into little pieces. And again, you got to pay attention to the sensation that's happening here on the inside edge of your leg. It is a strong adductor stretch. So quads, hamstrings, adductors, abductors. So this one's going to stretch the inside lines. You have adductor magnus, you have gracilis, you have these short little muscles called pectineus in the inner thigh, the groin area. And this posture really helps to open that up. Now, one of the questions that I hear a lot is, when I open out to the side, I can open all the way, but my hip rolls up in the air. Is it better for me to roll and do this? Let me go this way so I can see you. So if we go out to the side and this hip rolls up in the air, is that how I should approach it? Or am I better off keeping this left hip grounded, keeping a bend in this knee and opening out midway over here, or midway with the leg straight? I think try to ground this hip down over here. I mean, in essence, what we are attempting to do is create like a samastitihi-like position where our hips are square. And so over time, we're trying to like keep this sort of alignment and be able to move our legs into these different positions. Of course, there is no problem at all with having the hip come up just a little bit, right? But the more you ground it down and try to make the movement from holding that hip down, that's going to definitely increase the stretch on the inside thigh. Also, one of the great things about this pose is what it does for making it possible to do the leg raises, which we did much earlier in the sequence, where we balance on one leg and we practice lifting and doing this pose, balancing on one leg. However, this is going to feed that will feed this. The two work together. And again, one of the key ingredients, in my opinion, one of the great benefits of this posture is the abdominal strengthening work that we do in the process of trying to lift the head of the leg. Now, another question is, should I try to pull my leg toward my head, or should I try to lift my head toward my leg? Both. Okay, if I'm here, I'm going to try to meet in the middle. The middle would be somewhere right here. So I'm going to pull my leg toward there. I'm going to try to bring my head toward there. Now, another thing that happens is that when we pull the leg, this knee wants to bend. I can keep my leg straight and this leg straight, but once I start to pull this, all of a sudden my knee wants to bend. So we do try to lock out that leg and point the foot of the one that's on the ground. I think try to keep it grounded. And even if you don't touch your head on your leg, just kind of work keeping this grounded really, really strong. And can I lift my leg in the air and bring my head to my leg? Yeah. I mean, of course you can, but try to bring it down a little bit. Or don't worry about getting your head to your knee, and really focus on trying to like engage the core. I think that's part of the most beautiful part of this pose, is that feeling that you get in your neck, how strong your neck gets, strong down the central line rectus abdominis, as well as transverse abdominis, deep down in your belly, and the work that we do in our hamstrings. I think that covers it. I'm sure there's a lot more, and I'm sure there's a lot less, but nonetheless, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Remember, check us out on our website, nativeyogacenter.com. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. And if you're on Instagram, thank you for already being a follower. All right, have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon.